Hi, this is Dr. Janesri De Silva. I am a pediatrician and the medical director of Kids and Teens Medical Group. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about coronavirus and in particular about COVID-19 and the vaccine. So in order to, as a prelude, I want to let you know about childhood vaccines. So childhood vaccines have prevented fatality, morbidity, and mortality in millions of children around the world every single year. Childhood vaccines are the technology that has been used over the last many decades, over 50 years in creating these vaccines, used a portion of the germ, either a killed portion of the germ or an inactive live portion of the germ. And most of the vaccines are preventing things that are highly contagious, and mostly they are respiratory illnesses. So that is the technology that has been used up to now to prevent very serious illnesses in human beings. And it has been very effective because when the body receives the vaccine and creates antibodies and immunity, when they see the real infection, they don't get sick or not as sick, especially with influenza. And now I want to talk about coronavirus. So coronavirus is a family of viruses that has been in existence for hundreds, about 500 years in our world. And universities around the world have been studying the family of coronaviruses, and in particular, some of the researchers at Vanderbilt University in Tennessee are very well known for studying coronaviruses. And their goal has been to stop the spread of disease through medications and vaccines, and that's what they have been studying. Now, we're here today in 2020 when we have faced a global pandemic, meaning that the entire world has been affected and infected by COVID-19, which is coronavirus 2019, which was recognized in 2019, so for the past year. And one of the advents in science and research has been vaccines to prevent disease and illness, and it's a form of prevention that is so important in our humanity and allowing, helping people to live healthy lives without getting sick to things and infections that could really cause some major problems in people's lives. And the latest technology, called mRNA technology, has been studied for many decades. And we may think that the COVID-19 vaccine, which now has received emergency authorization, is brand new. However, the science has been studied for decades, for a very long time. So if we look back in historically, the SARS epidemic at that time, which is over 10 years ago, researchers did use mRNA technology for that infection. However, it was contained. It did not become a global pandemic. And so what is different with COVID-19 is that it is highly contagious. It's respiratory. It's both droplet and airborne, and which has caused the infection to spread around the world, needing a new vaccine very quickly. And mRNA technology, that's what I wanted to kind of explain to you, because it is one of the safest ways that that our scientists have created vaccines. So this is quite different from the vaccines that we have been giving for many decades. So this brand new type of technology, which is brand new as of the last 10 or more years, uses something called mRNA. So when our whole body, our entire body, from our hair to our skin, our organs, we are made of cells. And each individual cell, so if we look at a cell, it's like a little circular cell structure, and surrounded by little fat cells. Each cell within the cell there's a little circular area inside the cell that's called the nucleus. And the nucleus is the control center. So each cell has a little brain, and inside that nucleus is DNA. And that DNA has all the strings and strings of molecules that are our genes. That's what makes us human beings. And that DNA is what produces a protein called mRNA. And that mRNA goes outside of the little nucleus inside the cell, goes inside the cytoplasm, and it is what carries the proteins, the message to create proteins for that cell, and then lots of cells to the building blocks of whatever we are, either our skin, organism, or our liver, or heart, or whatever it is. So that's how DNA and mRNA works. And with this latest technology, our scientists have been able to create vaccines with only the message for a protein called a spike protein. So it's like the hat that you wear. It's like the spike protein, the hat that I call, of the germ, but not the germ. So not like the childhood vaccines that I spoke about earlier, where we have vaccines made of either a killed portion or an inactive portion of the actual germ. Here, we are only injecting the message to your muscle cell. And then when it receives that mRNA, that message, it creates a spike protein, which the body recognizes as something foreign. And when the body sees something foreign, its immune system, then our own immune system creates antibodies. These antibodies are very strong, and then other cells, killer cells, all these other cells from within our body, within our lymphatic system and our bones, they create these cells which go into our circulation, into our bloodstream, so that when our face or mouth sees that germ, because it's respiratory, if we see that droplet, our body will recognize it and then immediately put out the fire. They'll put out that germ. So that's mRNA technology. And we are so blessed that we have access to this federally granted emergency use authorization for the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine against COVID-19, and then Moderna will be sending out those vaccines. And right now we're in a tier system where our healthcare workers are receiving the vaccines, especially in our hospitals, and our frontline workers, such as EMTs and emergency room, ICUs, nurses, doctors. They're receiving it first, and then the other doctors who are in their offices seeing patients, and ambulatory care centers. So there's a tier of who gets the vaccine because it needs to be produced. It takes time to produce the vaccine. So then after that layer, then we'll receive it for our general population. So I just want to emphasize that this latest technology is not just of 2020. It has been studied for over a decade, much longer. Remember the SARS pandemic, and we can look historically, but this technology has been very effective, and it's very safe because, just as I explained, it's only the messenger. It's not the actual part of the virus, and it doesn't go into our brain. It doesn't go into our nucleus. Just the message, and it's only into your muscle cell. And so that's where, when you understand that science behind it, you understand how safe it is and why this COVID-19 vaccine isn't capable of producing all these other problems that people have feared. And yes, in the past, when we were learning vaccine technology, it did take our researchers and scientists time, but now we're in 2020 with the latest technology. So I really highly encourage you to understand this now, before it's time for you to get your vaccine, which I highly, highly encourage, so that we can put out the flames of this pandemic sooner than, later. And also just want to add, don't rely on herd immunity, okay? You need the vaccine. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can comment, or you can also send us a message on our Facebook page at Ktdoctor. Okay, Kids and Teens Medical Group. Thank you.